It's your day in tech history, and it's brought to you by our friends over at DJI. Get yourself your own drone by going over to geekazine.com/DJI. Jeffrey Powers here. I welcome you to the Day in Tech History, a full rundown of technology history 7 days a week. Subscribe to the show via iTunes, Stitcher, or download right from dayintechhistory.com. Now let's find out what happened on this day, your day in tech history. June 4th. 1896 is actually where we're going to start today. The first road test of the first Ford car was delayed an hour because the car was wider than the door of the shed which Henry Ford built it in. He took an axe and he ripped out the door frame, and therefore he made the first successful test run of his car, nighttime drive through the streets of Detroit. They called it the Quadricycle, by the way. Let's move up to 1968. Dr. Robert Dennard of IBM T.J. Watson Research Center is granted a patent for one-transistor dynamic random access memory, otherwise known as DRAM. 1973, a patent for the first successful modern automated teller machine, or ATM, is granted. Don Wetzel, Tom Barnes, and George Chastain of DocuTel are the ones that hold that patent. 1977, the VHS videocassette format is introduced into America. It's called VidStar, and it was at a press show the day before on the Consumer Electronics Show in Chicago. 1982, a little geek movie knowledge, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, has been released. That was a horrible Khan, I'm sorry. 1987, Virtuosonics Corporation begins shipping the Virtuoso multimedia software for the Atari 800, XL, 65XE, and 130XE computers for $49.95. 1989, Nintendo introduces the Game Boy handheld computer for $89.95, and Atari introduces their portable entertainment center for $149.95. 1991, U.S. and Japanese officials announce a pact governing the two nations' microprocessor trade. That pact would attempt the deal with intense competition between America and Japanese chip manufacturers by calling for sales of foreign semiconductors to reach 20% in the Japanese market within a year. President Ronald Reagan, formally imposed sanctions on Japan in 1986 after finding that Japan had failed to allow an increase in the United States' share of Japanese semiconductor market. 1996, NEC and Packard Bell announced plans to merge their personal computer operations to form the world's fourth largest personal computer manufacturer. 1997, Electronic Arts announces plans to acquire Maxis Software for $125 million in stock. And in 1999, Global Crossing announces plans for Africa One, which is the Africa Optical Network, which is a fiber optic cable system worth $1.6 billion. It would encompass Africa with fiber optic lines with 41 landing points in African countries, in addition to Saudi Arabia, Greece, Spain, Portugal, and Italy. Also in 1999, Lonnie Reeder, who is the personal agent for Atari's founder, Nolan Bushnell, sends a brief email to select recipients, including show attendees, vendors, and members of the press. Due to questionable actions on the part of the organizers of Classic Gaming Expo 99, Nolan Bushnell will no longer be participating in nor endorsing this year's event. And now this word from our friends over at DJI Technologies. The Phantom 3 has been released just in time for all your springtime flying. In both professional and advanced models, the Phantom is one of the most popular drones out there. And it can make you feel like a kid again, just like when you got your first RC car years ago. With video up to 4K, you can have fun taking overhead shots, aerial footage in parks or by the lake, or you can just fly over your house to see how many of your kids' toys ended up on the roof, or if your roof even survived the winter. I encourage you to go over to geekazine.com/DJI so you can get free shipping on that DJI Phantom, and it supports the Day in Tech History. Then go out to the park and have a ton of fun. Geeky fun with DJI. Now let's get back into your Day in Tech History. In 2000, the domain name internet.com was hijacked when somebody illegally transferred ownership on several of the domain addresses. It was unclear if internet.com or Network Solutions was the one that was hacked. 2001, NEC Mobile Pro 790 is released. It features a 8.1-inch touchscreen display, 168 megahertz MIPS processor, 16 megabytes of flash, Windows CE 3.0 operating system, compact flash slot, and cost $899. It only weighed 1.8 pounds. Also in 2001, Pitney Bowes and HP announced that HP would pay $400 million to Pitney Bowes to settle a patent infringement suit related to laser printer technology. 2003, the Bugbear worm, which is an internet worm with a Trojan horse that attempts to steal your passwords and credit card information, was released. Also in 2003, the board of directors of Palm and Handspring announced that they have each unanimously approved a definite agreement for Palm to acquire Handspring. In a stock deal, basically, a transaction would grant Handspring stockholders it would be 9 cents a share of Palm and no shares of Palm Source. 2005, Streamcast Networks releases a completely redesigned version of their file-sharing client Morpheus version 5.0. The version was able to connect to the Nutella 2, and Neo networks. 2008, Apple announces that they will start shipping iPhones to Japan, and YouTube adds the annotation tool to their videos. And in 2009, Intel acquires Wind River, which is an embedded chip software company, at about $11.50 a share, or $884 million. Also in 2009, Google debuts Chrome browser for Mac and for Linux operating systems. 2013, IBM agrees to purchase cloud computing firm SoftLayer Technologies for $2 billion. And in 2014, Donald Sterling agrees to sell the LA Clippers to Steve Ballmer for $2 billion. AMD released Kaveri APU mobile chips for thin and light laptops. And that's your Day in Tech History. My name is Jeffrey Powers, www.dayintechhistory.com. All the show notes are over at wikizine.com, Geekazine's wiki. And of course, you can like the Facebook page and follow Twitter at Day in Tech Hist. Until tomorrow, take care. Day in Tech History is copyright 2015, JMP Enterprise and Geekazine.com.